from Hollywood and the four corners of the world. You asked for it. Starring Rich Little. Here's the star of You Asked for It, Rich Little.
Thank you, and welcome to the only show on television that goes anywhere in the world just because you asked for it. Tonight, a royal battle to the death for the tiniest throne in the world. A Mexican family puts on the world's most spectacular fireworks display. From Japan, fish that play basketball, and much, much more. First, if you think a presidential election is a battle, wait until you see the royal war that goes on in the selection of a queen bee. The queen is the mother of the hive, the chief organizer, and the key to the survival of thousands of bees in her hive. And when she decides to pack up and leave, well, you'll see the bedlam that develops. Jack Smith tells the story because Deborah Myers of Baldwin, Wisconsin, you asked for it.
The honeybee has inspired poets and dreamers throughout the ages. From flower to hive to honey, bees present the picture of an ordered beauty. But few of us ever see the brutal drama that exists inside the hive, a drama that culminates in the choosing of a new queen. These thousands of swarming workers would be thrown into a state of chaos if it were not for this large and gifted bee, the queen bee. There can only be one queen in the colony, and she serves the dual role of a queen and mother to every bee in the hive. As the only fertile female, the queen's main function is to lay eggs. And lay eggs she does, between 1,000 and 2,000 a day. But when the colony grows overpopulated, the queen and many of her workers will swarm to a new home. The remaining bees then must quickly try to create a new queen. Instinctively, the worker bees begin to construct 10 to 12 wax cups called queen cells. Each cell receives a fertilized egg laid by the old queen before her departure. These fertilized eggs would normally develop into mere worker bees. But when fed with a special chemical secretion called royal jelly, the lowly eggs are transformed into the stuff that queens are made of. Royal jelly is so rich in vitamins, proteins, and minerals that the larva of a sterile worker soon evolves into the larva of a fertile queen. When these larvae are fully grown, they are sealed in their wax cells. In approximately 7 days, they will emerge as queen bees. Now the workers wait. They've been 2 weeks without their queen. Here, the first queen is born, and she struggles to break through her wax covering. But now a second queen begins to emerge. Yet only one shall live to reign. the rival queens approach one another, prepared to fight to the death to gain the crown. As one queen is fatally injured, the worker bees join in the struggle. They will carry away the defeated queen and leave her outside the hive. Meanwhile, the new queen stings all her unborn rivals to death. Then the workers tear open the wax cells and destroy their remains. The making of a queen bee, one of the most vivid illustrations of how only the fittest survive. Because you asked for it.
Good evening. This is Alfred Hitchcock. Now you know a great deal about bees. If you saw my picture about birds, well, then you know a lot about birds. If, however, you want to know more about the birds and the bees, I suggest you ask your mommy and daddy.
Coming up, a Mexican family that plays with fire and lights up the sky. We'll be back.
And now back to Rich Little.
Thank you, John. Gunpowder can explode right in your hands, but a family in Mexico works with it every day, making fireworks for the village festival. Even their children handle dangerous gunpowder. But according to the Melendez family, a village without fireworks is a sad place indeed, and they like to liven things up a bit. Jack Smith tells us and takes us south of the border for a story that lights up the sky. Because Michael Piani of Reno, Nevada, you asked for it.
For thousands of years, men have been painting the night sky with fire. And nowhere do they do it more spectacularly than here in the Mexican village of San Pedro Zumpango. The reason is this family fireworks factory. It's a mom-and-pop backyard operation in which the entire family of Marcelo Ramos Melendez takes part. They turn out some of the most beautiful and sophisticated fireworks in the world. Ramos has been making fireworks for about 60 years and is known as a fire master. His grandson will become a fire master, just as his son Martin did. It's a family tradition. Care and patience are the watchwords. As Ramos says, you just can't trust explosives. They make their own gunpowder by grinding up charcoal, sulfur, and other chemicals in a barrel full of brass ball bearings. Now, this is the only machine they use. Everything else in this extremely dangerous work must be done by hand for safety's sake. Black powder, for example, would blow up if mixed in a barrel. After Martin has prepared the fuses, Ramos' wife rolls them in paper. Making fireworks gets in your blood, Ramos says. It is not just a job, and you want to continue the tradition, so you get used to the danger. And besides, you keep thinking about making something wonderful. Ramos' fame has spread throughout Mexico, and clients come to him from all over the country. Most of them are mayors and public officials who want fireworks for local fiestas. But the Ramos family doesn't sell fireworks. They put on fireworks shows. They build what they call fireworks castles, which they will assemble on the location after dark so that no one can anticipate what they'll look like. Tonight, the show is especially important. because it's for the patron saint of Ramos' hometown, San Pedro Zumpango. And what a show he gets. Castles of Fire in the Sky by the Mom and Pop Firemakers of Mexico, just because you asked for it.
This is General Patton. People should not be allowed to play with gunpowder at home. These pretty fireworks make war look like a circus, and generals look like clowns. So let's get that stuff out of the house and back on the battlefield where it belongs.
You're about to see basketball players who can stay underwater for hours with no special breathing equipment whatsoever. They come from Japan, but you'll never see them in the Olympics because they are the only players of their kind in the world. Is this curious? Well, Tony Thomas takes you to Tokyo because Bobby Reich of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, you asked for it.
Rich, we're at the Enoshima Aquarium near Tokyo, where some special athletes train. We're here because these athletes are all fish, and pretty smart ones, too. You can bet they know the score. These parrot bass are trained to dribble the ball with their mouths, a skill many a human player wishes he could emulate. Of course, these fish would be equally proficient in water polo or underwater soccer. This talented fish is a sea bream. It can stop and maneuver like a gymnast, which is why a course like this is no obstacle. The sea bream is equally expert in engaging at this underwater version of the ancient sport of tug-of-war. Not having hands, they play the game the hard way, with their teeth. The parrot bass are back, using their beak-like mouths to shoot baskets. There's no doubt that the speckled one is a master at the dunk shot. The other one is not so adept. Could it be because it's still a little wet behind the ears? Frankly, I don't buy that alibi. It sounds like a fish story, but you asked for it.
I must tell you, that parrot was so good it was traded last year to the Minnesota Minnows for 200,000 fins. Coming up next, a visit to a city that is owned by ghosts. We'll be back.
And now back to Rich Little.
And now for our ghost story, a classic from the original You Asked For It. Here's Jack Smith.
Thank you, Rich. This is the story of a town that's populated entirely by ghosts. Now, we filmed it back in the 1950s, and it still looks just the same. Well, here it is again, the gold mining ghost town of Bodie, California.
Tioga, Sonora, Ebbets Pass, familiar names along the Bonanza Trail in the Motherlode country. And it was in a high mountain hollow that this dust-stained prospector struck gold. William Sam Bodie was his name. They say he came west from New York State. He was trapped in a blizzard, and his only reward was a hole in the ground and a town they named after him. The town of Bodie, California.
Once it was a beehive of sweating, mud-caked men, noisy with the pounding of hammers, the clatter of the mills. Once its roads were choked with columns of marching men, shouting prospectors, bewildered greenhorns, thirsty and dusty, as ox carts, mule wagons, and the coaches of Wells Fargo rolled past. This was the Bodie they advertised as bigger than the Comstock. There was an unending procession of footsteps on its wooden sidewalks. The gamblers, gunmen, and painted can-can girls. Its hotels and boarding houses, its saloons and gambling halls, jam-packed with humanity, the good and the bad, with their hopes and their fears. Main Street was hell on earth. Thundering wheels, galloping hooves, the crack of whips against flesh. Gold. Gold. That's what they came here for. And bank vaults like this were knee-deep in nuggets and pokes of dust. The liquor cellars overflowed with whiskey. This was a shooting town, and firewater and gun smoke made it that way. It had a jail, but they seldom used it. Few criminals were brought to trial. They hanged the ones they caught and let the town drunks lie out in the snow and die. A few didn't say goodbye to God when they came to Bodie. Some married inside the church, others christened their little ones or reminded themselves what the good book said. But all of them who believed in God prayed for their own salvation and a safe escape back to civilization if the golden veins ran dry. That day came, and fire whose flames gobbled up the wooden frames hastened that unavoidable doomsday. The water was gone, the gold was gone, the people were gone. Their houses began to blister and crack in the sun and the snow. The town of Bodie was dead. No longer are there housewives to tidy up the home, sew a button on a work shirt, or rock a newborn babe to sleep. Their worldly possessions remained just as they left them, inside the crumbling stones and woodwork. They died young in Bodie, and they died often. There was a coffin marked for everyone. But even these coffins are worthless. Or like its inhabitants and its cemeteries on the hill, the skeleton town of Bodie bleaches and rots away. There's not a sign of life. From virgin land to boom town to ghost town, all within 25 years. Like myself, William Sam Bodie, it is entombed by the silence of the eternal hills. Forgotten by man, who once so proudly boasted, "Goodbye, God, we're going to Bodie."
Well, you know, isn't it strange, Rich, that all those people would just walk away from everything and leave nothing behind but ghosts?
Yes, but I heard that one of the townspeople left no ghosts behind.
Who was that?
the saloon keeper. He took all the spirits with him.
Rich will be back in a moment with more You Asked For It. And now back to Rich Little.
That's our show for tonight. See you next time on You Asked For It. Good night, everybody.
This is John Harlan speaking. You Asked For It is a Sandy Frank production.